Well, hello, everybody. I am fighting with my ears, and I am aggravated as I can be with them. Ah, there we go, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me as I fight with my ears. Um, I am Ada K. I am your jail widow, and I am trying to put myself back together after fighting with these ears. These ears are not easily fought with. Okay, there we are. Thank you so much for joining. I am what's the word I'm looking for? Today I want to just share some time of talking and sharing. I lost my husband to prison in 20 got one hair snagged. 2009, and it's been a since then a lifelong journey to recovery, to finding myself again, to dealing with the aftermath of his crime, the community, raising children alone, you name it, I went through it. So, with that, let's run the intro and let's get started. Welcome. Okay, I have some mods that are going to hop on here in a little bit. I thank you so much, my mods. My mods, you guys are my jam. You guys are my jam. I appreciate you so very much. And we already got comments. Hello. Good afternoon, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining. As we kind of give people a moment to join, I am going to just kind of check all my sources and make sure that everything is live and running. I am actually running my live on 4 different platforms at one time for the first time ever. So, yeah, y'all. I am Okay, so why is it not showing? Top chat complaint. I have no idea why I have nothing on my jail widow. Let me go back and check my normal account. And, for those of you, if you know anybody who's lost a spouse or a, family member or somebody to jail, please let me know. I would love to be able to assist them. And I'm noticing hold on a minute. I'm live, I can't. It's Jail Widow on Facebook. Sorry, Jail Widow or my regular page. Sorry, y'all. I love everybody, but I cannot sit there and send 40 different uh, um, tags and instant messaging. It's just crazy to do so. It's just very difficult right now. I'm learning, and it's fun. I've enjoyed it. Right now, I'm going to check my Facebook because on Facebook, unfortunately, I have to go on and manually allow people to watch and comment. Go figure. So while I'm doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to just quickly and briefly just give an outline view of my journey and what I went through. My journey is a little different than most people's um, who have family members who are incarcerated. My spouse was a professional. We had no, I had no knowledge of this crime. I had no understanding of this. I had no inkling, no, nothing that this was going to happen. And oh man, it is. a shock. When this happens to you, it blindsides you. I was 20 no, 36 years old. I had 2 small children, and I don't know oh, there I am. Okay, so I am live on that one. Okay, had a little scare there. So we can get going. So I had taken the kids to school. Ah, yay, Heike, thank you. I'd taken the kids to school and Mother's Day out, and long story short, by the time I got home after running some errands and seeing a friend, um, we had DPS. Oh my gosh, let me start from the lowest. We had police, sheriff, ranger. We had FBI and ICE at my house serving a search warrant. Yeah, that's pretty bad, y'all. It was not fun. Um, I got home to that, and I was met with what you would think, which would be the guns pulling me out of the car. They already knew who I was, but they were asking me anyway. I'm like, dude, you've been investigating for months, maybe even a year, and you turn around and anyway, they were not. They were some of them were nice, some of them were not so nice. Sorry, I've been dealing with a headache all day. At that moment, and somebody had asked me, it's weird. People don't comment here questions, which I'd love for you to comment questions. Um, I'm happy for you to comment questions, but people don't always comment questions. Here, I end up getting them in instant messaging or something like that, another platform. And right now, like I said, I'm streaming on 4 different platforms at one time. I love StreamYard. But um the thing is that it so anyway, I gathered them all up. And so some of those are the questions we're going to talk about today. So the question I'm going to talk about, the first one is the question was, what were you feeling or what were your emotions or how did you handle it when you get home and you see all this? The first thing I thought of was he's gone. He's dead. He died. Now, mind you, do you know how sometimes we can have our dreams? Come here, place. And I had been having dreams for probably almost a year that he had been killed in a car wreck on his way home. The Now, will y'all mods tell me if you can hear or anybody the fan blowing on this? Y'all, on this truck, I'm having a hot flash. And I don't want it to be blowing on the microphone. So if you hear the fan, please let me know. So when I came around the corner, our house was second from the corner. So you turn off one street to the other street. We were the second house in on the left. And my husband went to work before sometimes I got up. So that's 5:30 to 6:30. I got up at 6:30 to get the kids to school. So daycare, mommy's day out in school. And so when I turned the corner, I thought he died because I've been having these horrific nightmares of him getting in a car wreck on the way home and falling asleep. Mind you, he worked very, very crazy hours. And he, since I place, stay. My service dog is getting up and trying to alert me, and I've had a headache all day, and so that's what she's doing. But so when I came around that corner, I really thought he died. I thought somebody broke in and killed him. I wasn't sure what had happened, but I literally thought he had died because there was nothing in his personality or within our relationship that would lead me to believe otherwise. He hadn't died. They were serving a search warrant. And I had a migraine then. I was also having some asthma problems. And of course, when you get pulled out of your vehicle with guns drawn on you, the first thing you do is panic. I was, hi, Sparkles. I was, panicked, I was scared, um, confused, which set me into a bigger asthmatic attack. By the way, if y'all would comment, like, and subscribe and share, I'd greatly appreciate it. My other channel is doing so well, I had to get some mods. I had to get me mods. This microphone's moving. Ah, there, better. And hello, mods. Um, let's see, you're in one of, okay, so which one are y'all in? Y'all are probably in Jail Widow. So let me switch over to the Jail Widow account mods and I will give you permission. So I am literally sitting here panicking over what's happening, and I don't I don't understand why. Um, Sparkles, I don't see what do me a favor. Which y'all please tell me which account in YouTube you're in. It's either my main or the JW for Jail Widow. If you're in my main, try to find me on Jail Widow, please. So, anyway, they put me on the ground, they do the pat down, they pick me up, they couldn't put my hands behind my back because 'cause I've had multiple shoulder surgeries, and actually, I had just had one within a year of this happening, and then, they sit me on the front porch, and at this time, I'm in a full-blown asthma attack, and I am begging them, I mean, begging them for, um oh, Heike, you're on Facebook, thank you. I am begging them to get my husband because I'm having an asthma attack, and they refuse to get my husband for me, and I'm like, I mean, this was just, I just couldn't understand it. So I I asked them, "What are you serving a warrant for?" And they said, "Oh, for such and such." And I said, "What? What?" Mods, please go to Jail Widow on YouTube if you can. I sent the link in our comments. And so I was like panicked. And I said, I need my husband. I want my husband now. And um, there we are. Lynn, are you wanting to be a mod? If so, I'll make you a mod. And so they said, well, we'll give you an ambulance. I said, I just need my inhaler. Just need my inhaler. Inside the door, go to the kitchen. When you're in the kitchen, right next to the sink is the inhaler. They were being jerks to the nth degree on that issue. They finally told me they had my husband at the time sequestered in the bedroom. So when we came to about 20 minutes ish, wasn't quite half an hour, but it was about 20 minutes ish, out comes my husband. And I mean, I'm sobbing. I can barely breathe. I'm struggling. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? And they told me what it was. And I'm not going to say what it was because, once again, I can't. But I will tell you it involved something with internet. And because um, my husband told me, hey, do you remember when, by the way, y'all need to pay attention to this. When you have a credit card, love to no previous experience except for watching true crime with RA and Brandy every day. Well, if you'd like to, fine. If you don't, that's fine. I'm just giving certain people sparkles. If you are on Jail Widow, please comment so I can pop you on as a mod on that channel if you'd like. Um, but I'm sitting here and he's telling me, he goes, "Don't you remember about 4 months ago, I was at work and I got a call saying that somebody in Europe was trying to use my credit card and buy a $6,000 something another?" And I said, "Yeah, I remember that. You had to Oh, you don't need to receive my emails. Just go into the Jail Widow and comment. Just put a comment and then I can click on it and make you. You don't need to do email on this." So I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Well, I think someone stole my identity." What? Well, so I didn't believe he did anything wrong. I mean, I understand stolen identities. People can steal your identity and commit a crime. So I was like, "Oh, is that all this is about?" Well, so I'm kind of like, okay, naively, okay. And so I thought we were done. And what happens? They said, "Oh, now we need to go to your office." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean go to his office?" They were asking my husband for consent for them to go to his office and search. And of course, my husband's all like, no, you can't do that. Why can't I?" And I was like, um, why can he not? And he goes, "Because you can't do anything without a search warrant." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." So they told him to go to his office and they would meet him. And then I was going to follow him, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to follow him. Well, I get to his office. Mind you, both of my children, thank God I had one in school. And thank God I had one um, in, okay, I'm just checking both accounts. And then I had one in Mommy's Day Out. I called a friend that I was with earlier. Hey, Karen. I called a friend that I was with earlier that day and I told them, I said, "Hey, y'all, we have a problem. I need you to get my kids." So she agreed to get my children. When she got my children and took them to her house, I'm sitting, "Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. Karen, are you okay to mod? If so, I'll make you as a mod." So, when we get to his office, mind you, here's something else. Well, back to the money. If anybody is using your credit card in overseas or anything like that, and your bank calls you and says, "Hey, there's a large uh, all right, I made you a managing mod. If you don't want to do it, let me know, but you're a managing mod now." Oh, now I can get back in. So do not continue to have that bank account. Close the bank account. Don't just get a new card issued, because he was saying that um, this was a crime. Someone was trying to use his identity, and I'd never seen anything that would cause me to think that he was guilty of anything. So we go to his office and we sit there for 3 hours. They beat us to the office. They took his computer out of his office. Once he had, like my son's place, he has multiple offices in one rental space. Took it, excuse me, took it from the main office and put it in the room where he had all of his office supplies that he stored. And they sat with it. Now, someone said, "Well, they can't touch it without a warrant." Excuse me. Sorry about that. So they said well, yes, they can. Let me explain this. And this is why I'm doing this channel. And this is why I'm going through this story. If they have a warrant for a computer, for example, and they are fearful that hi, everybody. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Sparkles, thumbs up if you're okay with being a mod. So here they take his computer and disconnect it from his monitor and take it into the next room, and they sit with it for 3 hours. Now, it is legal to do that because they are um they are able to sit and guard the evidence. Now they cannot, you're a mod. They cannot, thank you all so much. I only need the 2 right now. They cannot take the computer and plug theirs in and start running programs and investigating it without the warrant. But they can connect everything to it and just sit there and wait. Which is why I was panicked, because we waited for 3 hours for the search warrant to come through. So if they have a search, if they come to your door and they say you're accused of taking a life, and you open the door to the police and they see what they believe to be the weapon of choice sitting there, they can guard it without the warrant, but they can't touch it without the warrant. And that's what people don't understand. So I'm sitting there and we are waiting and waiting and waiting forever. And girl, if you don't know what nerves are, that is the second highest nervousness I've been in this case, other than when we were waiting for the guilty, not guilty. Lay down. But anyway, uh, hours passed. All of a sudden, there's a phone call that comes through to one of the sheriff deputies and the FBI and the ICE. There were multiple there, that says we have warrant. They pushed a button. 10 seconds, literally seconds later, they said arrest him. We got it. My husband never would speed. Didn't never have a speeding ticket. Never broke the law. He was a follow the law by the letter kind of guy. So they arrested, and I looked at him and I said, "Did you do this? I can, we can get through this. I just need honesty." And he said, "No, he didn't do it." So off to jail he went until the next day we had to bond him out. Are there any questions? So I want to talk about the legal process and the emotional process between the moment I get home and find out there's a search warrant. First of all, luckily he was home and he did this, and I didn't know to do this. So, but if this happens to you or someone you love, the first thing is if anyone serves a search warrant, y'all, you have the right to see the search warrant. You have a right to know what they are searching for. You also have a right to know what they're taking. They have to give you a receipt for everything they're taking. They cannot just take anything out of the home or the place or wherever they're doing the search warrant for without giving you a receipt. Were you able to talk to him while you were waiting 3 hours? Okay. At the house, I was not able to talk to him. They did not find anything on the search warrant at the house. So at this point, when they went to the place of business, they really weren't 100% sure they were. I've got one hair that it's being pulled. It's driving me crazy. but I was allowed to talk to him in the office. Um, Mind you, though, we didn't say much in anybody's presence because we were at this point, it was clear that anything we said would and could and be used against him. Um, he sat there and just paid bills and did what he did. He was much calmer than I was. And now that I know what I know, and then now that we do, this has been years out, I can't believe he was so calm. I mean, seriously, y'all, I would have been if I was in his shoes and hold on a minute. I had to plug in the iPad. If I was in his shoes, there is no way, and being that he was found guilty, there would be no way I would have been that calm. No way under God's green earth would I been able to sit there and be as calm as he was emotionally. As I look back on it, I was pretty much a wreck, trying to hold it together. I I remember I wasn't it was kinda weird. I wasn't concerned about my family or children or anything at that point. I was just more concerned about him possibly even just going to jail. When we're married, I'm sure most of us, if not all of us on this channel have been or watching have been married, or of course, we've all had married parents at one point or parents in a committed relationship. In a crisis like that, you're not really thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about protecting yourself. You're just thinking about protecting the other person. And for me, all I could do was to try to protect him. I was trying to think of what do I need to do? Who do I need to call? But at that moment, until they said we got it and the search warrant was served, I seriously had no clue that there was going to be anything wrong. I really believed he was innocent. I really, really believed it. I thought, okay, what's going to happen is that we're going to have to go through this. And when they open up the computer, nothing is going to be there and everything's going to be fine. Whatever computer crime it was he committed, it was going to be fine. I never in my wildest dreams thought that he was guilty of anything. I guess naive I was. Unfortunately, our loved ones, no matter how much you love them, can make bad choices and decisions that can affect, if not just affect, destroy your life. Okay, guys, I have a package. I am so sorry. I'm going to have to go get that. I'll be right back. Mods, why don't y'all throw some questions and I'll be happy to be right back, y'all. Thank you.
Gonna take it slow. When I'm loving you. Gonna take it slow. When I'm loving you. Gonna take it slow. When I'm loving you. Gonna take it slow. When I'm loving you.
I'm so sorry, you're right. I said, "Thank you so much for holding." Um, this is a small business, and my son has stepped out, and so I'm stepping in for him. The package didn't arrive, so we may have to go again. We'll see. But, the thing about the thing for me emotionally is that I wish someone would have told me that I needed to take care of myself, and I didn't know that. I was in a fight for my marriage. I was a fight for our lives. When did I first begin to think he might be guilty? Um, Honestly, guys, I didn't until trial ended. Look, how do I put this? He got a very short sentence considering he got 5. And, yes, I did, and I will continue yeah, I will continue to I'll share a little bit about that. So, one thing you need to understand is that when your spouse is battling in a trial situation, no matter what the case is, number 1, you don't talk about it with anybody, and that is so freaking hard because you are having to sit here and internalize all this for years. Yeah, and see, all right, everybody looks at marriage differently, but for me, this is the way I looked at it. I married him for better, for worse, for sickness and health, richer for poor. And I told people this time and time again, unless I see evidence that proves to me that he's guilty, I'm gonna stand by him. I mean, wouldn't you want your spouse to do that to you? If you sat there and said, "I didn't do this. I am wrongfully being accused. Don't leave me." What would you do? First of all, y'all, I was a stay-at-home mom with 2 children. He was a breadwinner. I had nowhere to go. I had no income. I had nothing. That's why I tell women now when you get married, lovingly put away a little bit of money every month. I tell couples, I've told people before, y'all need to have an emergency fund account, but a part of that emergency fund account, you need to be able to put away money for an attorney. You never know. He got 5 years. 5 years. Served point 4 point something of them. So, he coulda gotten 70, y'all. Yeah, exactly, Sparkles. We have to be able to take care of ourselves and our children. I didn't know that. I depended on him for all the financials. I am clinically dyslexic. I've been diagnosed. I've had 2 tests from 2 different colleges, and so I trusted him to take care of all the finances. He trusted me to take care of of all of the home. He was on house arrest up until when he was found guilty, and then from the '09 to '14, he was in prison. So, I'm sitting here and I'm like, "I have to get an attorney." I'm sitting here with the feds and ICE and sheriff and police sitting in his office. He's sitting in his little office. They're sitting in the room next to his office with his computer. And the moment they find him guilty, they take him outside and carry him off. I had to call his mother. I had to call my mother and father. His father is already deceased. He's out now, yes. And that's one reason why I won't talk or say what the exact crime was. So I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I call his mom. I called someone he worked for. or worked with and let them know what was going on. And so I was like, sorry. I was like, okay, so I call parents. Mom was 2 hours away. His mom, my parents are 6.5, 7 hours away. They both start heading towards our hometown where I live, and it hits the news. Instantaneously hits the news to the closest, largest city to us, and then it branched out throughout the state. Then it was being seen in other states, and it went East Coast to West Coast. But as soon as they leave with him, I tell the staff to go home, lock up the office, secure the office, and I go home. We can't do anything for him until the next day. If this was to happen to you or someone you know, you cannot call them. They can't call you. No communication, nothing until they go to court and they're go before the judge for their arraignment. So the next day he was arraigned. But that night, I get home and his mother is there within 2 hours, literally 2 hours, 15 minutes ish. I mean, it was almost like when you're getting ready to have a baby and you have a go bag. How she got there so quick, I do not know, but she did. And y'all, my camera is shifting, and I'm going to go ahead and try to adjust it because I see my background going like that. There we go. So she's there really in a hot minute, considering I don't know if she sped or not. She probably did. My parents got there like at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that. Actually, close it was to 1 a.m. So my friend still's keeping my kids. She kept them till wee hours of the night. And then we recovered the house, meaning we cleaned the house, we picked everything up, got it looking like it should. Since they come, I have a dog and a cat at my feet, and the dog is running from the kitten. The dog is like, I'm out. So I'm sitting here cleaning my house, just crying. The love of my life has been arrested. Somebody I never thought would be arrested. He's a good old um, church going guy. His daddy worked for the Missouri Synod Lutheran office his entire career. His mother worked for DPS, Department of Public Safety in Texas. It was like, ugh, y'all. And the next day or that night, my parents arrive and we were discussing it. And the first thing I told them was, um, got the kitty. The first thing I told them was is that I wanted them to take my son. We would take him out of his school. He needed to be either homeschooled or enrolled in their school in their town, and I wanted them to take care of the children until we figured this out. It wasn't much longer left in the school year, and so we came to the agreement. My father was an educator; he'd been a principal. My mother was a vice principal secretary and a now librarian. So they were retired at that point. When she retired, she was a librarian. And so they they were going to take both the children that Monday. Unfortunately, come Monday, the news media swarmed my house. And when I say swarmed, I mean swarmed the house. Now, so this happened, I think, on a Thursday. You wanna talk or you wanna play? She wants to play. So on a Thursday so on Friday, we went to the arraignment. And when we did the arraignment, I'll never his mother was so mad. She and I went to do the arraignment by my parents stayed and took care of the kids. We did not take my son to school that day. And to be sitting outside a federal courtroom waiting for an arraignment, and to see your husband come into the courtroom for his arraignment. They brought him in an orange jumpsuit. Never in my life would I think I'd see my husband in an orange jumpsuit, shackled. He had just lost his father the year before. His mother, strong German woman, but I don't know how she held it together. I don't know how I held it together. I will tell you she said some mean things to me and kind of blamed me for this, which I was nowhere near anything to blame for this. But when they went to do the bond and everything and it was set, she guaranteed the bond because we did not have enough collateral in our house to guarantee the bond. Let me know if you hear the fan. Let me know if you hear the fan because I had to put it back on me. So we leave the courtroom and go to the county jail, and you want to talk about deplorable conditions. Oh, thank you. Good. Thank you, because it's hot in here with this big light on me and the motor of the heat from the big computer. So we're sitting in the car waiting outside for them to release him from the jail. He comes out and he looks so defeated. I've never seen a person look so defeated. He went to college for buku years, had a good job, good guy, never did anything legally wrong, barely ever raised his voice. I mean, it just as smooth emotionally as you could get on a man. And him to get in the backseat of that car and show emotion was very difficult. I think that was, up to that point, the most difficult thing for me. I would want him to stick through me through this if I said I was innocent, if I was being charged. So, I have had I've been accused of things that I never did, nothing criminally. Yeah, uh, nothing criminally, but I mean, I've been accused of things that I never did, and people didn't stick with me. We all have. We all been in those situations where we had friends and someone went to a friend and said that you said this, did this, and you tell them you didn't, and then they bail on you. So, I was in it through thick or thin because I believed him. We get home, he has to wear an ankle monitor. Um, well, that weekend he didn't have it, but he couldn't leave the home. So that Monday is when all the devices were supposed to be on. We were supposed to take him in and get the pretrial services and get everything connected. They were going to come to the house. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that was going to happen Monday. Well, I went to give the children and everybody get out and them to head on their way. Um, in a lot of cases, now, once again, there was no physical abuse of my children from me nor him, but they had to just CPS because I was sending them off and all this stuff. So my parents took the kids. Well, went to leave the house about 10 minutes before we were all going to leave the house. I get a on the door and I peek out the window because I'm worried about the media. And I didn't see any media. It was a woman. I thought, maybe they were coming to the house. Maybe I got it wrong. So I opened the door and the lady goes, "I'm so and so with News Channel Blop." And I went chunk and I slammed the door. Slammed the door in her face. And I hear her holler, "This is it." And the media swarm was just like none other that I have ever seen. Now, I'm sure in other cases it's bigger, but for this little itty bitty town of 24 odd thousand people, back then, probably 23,000, 22,000, maybe even less. And so I knew right then and there, what the heck am I going to do? My mother I kept telling my mother, "The media is gonna hit on this because, this is they're gonna hit on this." And she thought I was just, thinking that, "Oh, you just think you're gonna be the center of attention." She told me that. "No one's gonna pay attention to this. This is not about you. This is not about da 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 da." Guess what? Love you, but that was wrong. I was right because we couldn't get out of our house because the news media I've got something in my hand. The news media put their cameras right in front of the driveway on the asphalt, not on the driveway itself, but on the road part. So they can't legally go on your property, but they blocked me from leaving. So I called 911, got a hold of a police, and I said, "Look, I can't leave. The news media has swarmed the house. I can't get out. I gotta go here. We gotta go do this." They said, "No problem. We'll send the police." Well, I was a volunteer firefighter at the time, and I had always told my kids, and we had done some fire drills and stuff. So I told my son, "We're gonna do another drill, and this is gonna be a gas leak drill." So he played along. He had no clue what was happening outside that door. And they had no clue their father had been arrested. And so I told him, "Get your little sister." He's 7, she's 2. And when I tell you, and we had a garage, "I want you to take this blanket and get under it in the back of the car because we have a leak." "Hi, Michelle. We have a leak, a gas leak." Pretend we're practicing. He knows this is pretend. This is a drill. So he gets his sister in the blanket and he does what I tell him. I said, 3, 2, 1. Open the car. They ran in. So he bumped in and with my daughter and they get in the back of the car. And God love my son. He protected his little sister as if it was a real gas leak. It was so cute. And the I had ran to the front door, the cop had came and he said that he he said, "I'm making him move the cameras." I told him, I've got him in the back of the car, they're under a blanket, the minivan, they're under a blanket." He goes, "Good." When I bang on the door, and back then I could hear, I mean, I had hearing aids and I had a hearing loss, but nowhere near what it is now. So I waited. I was standing by my door, my car in the garage. He banged on it. I hopped in the car, opened the garage, and I sped away with another police car escort. And they had taken me just no straight drive anymore. They had told me, "Just follow them, we're going to lose them." No sooner did I back out of the garage and start following the first cop car, camera crew tried to follow. Luckily, we lost them. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. Well, mods, can you do that? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. So luckily, luckily, we were able to get to a safe house, as they call them, and we were able to transfer the kids to my parents safely and get them out of town. How do you do that, y'all? I have no idea. I am totally new to this. Uh, I don't even know how to do that. I have no clue. So we sit there and we put the kids' things in my parents' car, and I'm gonna try I'm gonna try and not get emotional here, but it was the worst, I think to this day, the worst moment of my life. We put the children in my parents' truck, actually, and their stuff. And mama says goodbye. I told the kids, or told Matthew, Sarah was too young to understand. Well, kids, sorry about that, y'all. I'll try not to do that again. I told my children that um, sometimes grandparents have to take their grandchildren for a short while because of financial things, or mommy and daddy have a vacation or whatever. Y'all are fabulous mobs, and we can't figure it out now. We'll figure it out later, okay? It's okay. I want this to be an open forum, but I do agree with you all. We need to do the subscriber thing. So I get in my car to try to drive off before they even pull out because at this point I'm sobbing and I don't want my kids to see me sobbing. They had no idea how long they'd be gone. I had no idea how long they'd be gone. We're just days into this, and I thought, okay, this is just going to be till the summer. We're going to figure this out. They're going to find out everything's fine. How naive and dumb I was. So I drive off, and I'm sobbing so hard I can't breathe. I actually almost drove myself to the ER because I was having the worst panic attack. I get home. I don't even remember getting home. I remember driving away. I remember crying so hard. I don't I don't think I've ever cried that hard before. And in my heart of hearts, it was almost like they had been killed in a car wreck or something. It was that hysterical of a cry. Oh, thank you guys. I I don't even remember the rest of that day, y'all. I don't remember the rest of that day. But I will tell you that what I do remember is trying to reach out to what I thought was my best friend at the time. And oh, let me hide that comment. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave it on because I'm talking too long. I didn't get an answer. Good job, Karen. Woohoo! I didn't even get an answer on the phone. And if you're watching this right now, I forgive you. But that was one of the most hurtful things is is to reach out to your best friend, what you thought was your best friend in that time of need, and they weren't there. The interesting thing is that this happened on a Thursday. My kids left that Monday. It was the best decision out of everything I did, that was the best decision I could have done. They ended up being gone for over 2 years. They stayed with my parents for over 2 years, and my parents were amazing to keep them. Um, it wasn't easy, for people of their age, for people that young. If financially they were comfortable, and I know they made some sacrifices, and things can never be enough. But that Thursday he was arrested. That Sunday in church, I was slotted to sing the solo. Do y'all know the Sandy's Patty's version of It Is Well With My Soul? Whew, very difficult piece to sing. And I got a call from the choir director. Oh, man, that is the packages. Hold on a sec. The um the choir director called me. I heard about your problems. Let's see if it works today. Just up for giggles and grin. Let's see if it works today.
I heard about your problem. It does. And, well, I have found somebody else to sing your solo. Didn't think you wanted to be upfront.
And I said to her, innocent before proven guilty. And I'm not the one under arrest. I'm not going to crawl under a rock and hide. By the way, Sparkles, I've interpreted twice, 2 concerts in sign language for Sandy Patty. That Sunday, I showed up and I sang It Is Well With My Soul. Halfway through the song, I heard this little voice in my head saying, "You hypocrite, it is not well with your soul, you liar." And I'm like, that was also before I lost the hearing to the point that I couldn't sing with any other people. I can't do that now unless they have this technology that I'm using now. It would be very difficult. That church does, and so I still could, but a lot of churches don't. But anyway, I sang it, and halfway through it, I hear this voice saying, "You liar, this is not well with your soul." And I started to get a little emotional with it. And then I heard this voice in my head say, and I can't say it any other way. I say in my head, but I heard a voice in my spirit tell me, "No, it is not well with your soul. It's okay, because the promise is it will be." So I finish singing it and I go to sit down. Now there's a couple sitting behind me, well, behind me, that the woman is in choir with me. I don't really know her very well. Um, but she is sitting behind me with her husband. Well, I walk into the row and my 2 children were sitting there by themselves. Mind you, I'm just get up and do the solo. And as I sit down, the couple sitting next to me got up and left and went and sat across the church. Yeah. There were some people in the church that were cruel like that, but there are far more many people who were very kind and supportive, who loved me through it, supported me and my children, and, um, as a whole, they were great. Hold on. So we're sitting here and, got a big package. So anyway, at that point, I realized that this was gonna be a very difficult journey, and the couple sitting behind me have become my spiritual parents, and they were absolutely amazing through this whole thing. They supported me, they supported my children, they supported my husband, and then even after all this, they were there for my family. So, understand there's gonna be good and bad in every place, in every business, every church, everywhere you go in life. It wasn't that they were being mean in the sense of hateful. I think a large part of it is people don't know what to say. They didn't know what to do, and they didn't wanna be associated, and that's fine, that's their lives, not mine. So, I don't wanna go much further than that, I'm going to leave it there. What do you mean you didn't have your notifications on? Chat, please do better. I don't understand. Hmm. Okay, mods, we'll talk about that outside of the live. I have come a long way, my family has come a long way, everybody has come a long way, and, um, I wouldn't be the person I am today. It was a hell of a journey, and we will talk more. We will stop right there. Okay, we'll figure it out. So with that, I'm going to leave you there. Next episode, we're going to start talking about the journey between the first week and through trial. Um, hmm, there and there. Y'all, I am learning. Everybody's learning on this page, so please be patient. Okay. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. I don't want to keep these super long. This has been an hour. And I just am sharing at this point. I have done some other videos giving more detailed advice, and I will be doing more of that. Okay. Okay, great, Lynn. Thanks. With that, everybody have an awesome day. And just remember, if you or anybody finds yourself in this position I was in, reach out to me. I'll be happy to kind of guide anybody who needs some guidance. Okay. Thanks, mods. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I bless you, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.